This is Pastor Rick, and I want to welcome you to the Sunday Forum for this Sunday, May the 7th. We have an exciting topic, a unique topic, and here we go. Is it good or bad that artificial intelligence is in your life today? Artificial intelligence now is everywhere. It's not just creeping into your life, it's in your life. It's running our lives, it's enhancing our lives, and that's what we want to discuss. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Now, several stories caught my attention about artificial intelligence this week, and I want to share these four because it seems like every day in the paper or on TV we're hearing another report, something that's important about artificial intelligence. The ones that caught my eye this week. First, reports from CNN and Fox News that took a survey of patients in hospitals, and in the survey they preferred the robots doing their diagnosis than the real doctors. The diagnosis they thought they trusted more as being more accurate, and, blows my mind, the bedside manner of the doctors was worse than the robots. That was the first. The second, this week, we're expecting the Hollywood Writers Guild to go on strike because they're afraid that artificial intelligence is now going to supplant them. It's going to take away their jobs. That movies will be written by computers now and not by real human writers. The third story was a musician who published a song that he had written, but he ran it through a computer. It was his voice, but the lyrics and everything was generated by the computer, and he published it, although he really never sang or wrote the music himself. Was that real? Was that fake? How do we understand artists now who are generating works through computers and not through their own skill set? And fourth, a political party just put out an ad using only artificial intelligence-driven videos. And they told everyone up front, these are generated by a computer, they're not real. And so now then the question was on cable news, was the ad fake? Was it a deep fake? And how much can we use these tapes? How much can we believe with our eyes what we're seeing on TV? Now that's four of many, many articles that are coming out on a daily basis. And I think they divide into two categories. Some feel that artificial intelligence is the best thing since sliced bread. It helps us. It enhances our lives. We're depending on it even at home. Talked to Adriana, who does our filming here, and she just said right out loud, well, I couldn't live without my Alexa at home. For example, when I want a shopping list, I just tell Alexa to generate my shopping list, and then when I go to Whole Foods or wherever, the list is generated. In fact, I don't even have to go to Publix or Whole Foods. I can just send in my list and have it delivered by home. In other words, all my shopping can be handled and delivered by a computer at home. In fact, for many people, what's the first voice you hear in the morning who wakes you up? It's Alexa. On the negative side, we're hearing more and more critiques, and not just from regular people, but sometimes from those who actually generated and developed this AI technology. In the New York Times, this report from Jeffrey Hinton. He is the godfather of AI technology. He's the one who helped, along with his students, to develop the technology like chatbots and ChatGPT. And he writes about his job. First of all, he just gave up. He just quit his job at Google so that he can go out and speak against this technology. He says, I console myself with the normal excuse of the bad things I've done now in developing this technology. If I hadn't done it, someone else would have. But he says it's hard to see how you can prevent the bad actors from using AI in bad ways. So, okay, what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? Here's a definition. AI is the ability of a digital computer or a computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with us, human beings, with intelligent beings. For example, the ability to reason, the ability to discover meaning, to generalize, or to learn from past experiences. Now, we've been developing these computers ever since the 1940s, and we've realized that these computers, while they can accomplish many complex tasks, in fact, it's hard to beat a computer at chess these days, but they can also do math problems, but we thought for a long time they could never approach human reasoning. There just wasn't that much creativity or flexibility. But now, those who know this science well are saying all bets are off. The computers are getting faster and better at learning and developing human-like characteristics. Two categories are often used when talking about this AI technology. The first is strong AI, which means ties to building machines that think, whose ultimate goal is really to be like humans, that these machines should be able to act and behave and reason and think and solve problems like human behavior. And this is the stuff of science fiction. We'll talk about that in a second. But the second is more applied AI. And this is when artificial intelligence is used to solve a problem. Like when I get my Uber, it arranges in this amazing fashion these drivers and hooks them up with me so they pick me up within 5 or 10 minutes of when I call. It's amazing. Or we find it in hospitals where doctors can use artificial intelligence to do analyses, like with the heart or the lung. The computers have all these pictures of lungs, 300,000, 400,000 pictures, and then when I put my MRI into the computer, it can give a diagnosis which is exact and helpful. So, we have all these examples, and some say this is wonderful, it enhances the human spirit, and others are being very, very critical, saying this is going to hurt us, the disinformation's out there, and it's going to hurt our economy, it's going to take away jobs, and it's going to hurt our actual experience, the quality of life here around us. So, I want to give some examples out there that are maybe in your own life, and then we're going to talk about how it affects the church as well. But first, medical exams are using artificial intelligence. Stock traders use the same technology. Uber drivers, marketing firms now, instead of hiring someone to write a marketing plan, you can just put it in the computer and out it's generated within just a few minutes. Book publishers are using artificial intelligence to edit books, and as we've just heard, the Screenwriters Guild is afraid they will be supplanted in the short term by using artificial intelligence instead of real human writers. Robots are used for all sorts of things. I've actually walked through warehouses where the robots pick out our products, put them on the truck, and deliver them. They do everything in the warehouses for us. But also in Japan, they're often used as personal aides and friends to seniors who are living alone. And I've just heard down the street here in Naples, we have a restaurant where you are served by a computer, by a robot. And so artificial intelligence is everywhere. It's in our phones, it's in our public life, it's in our private life, and it's also in our church. And so now I want to hear from Jim Cooper, because I know he has put a chat GPT on his phone, and I'm going to ask him this morning if he would write a sermon for me. Because if I write a sermon, it might take a couple days. Let's see how fast he can generate a sermon through his artificial intelligence. Jim, show us what you can do. Okay, Jim, I know that you've been experimenting a little bit with artificial intelligence to put one of those apps on your phone, that is ChatGPT, and I'm wondering what that might mean for a preacher. What could this do in the church? How might it help me write a sermon for Sunday morning? Could it write a sermon for me?
Let's find out.
Okay, it takes me a couple days to write a sermon. Let's say on the Good Shepherd. Jesus as the Good Shepherd, John 10 verses 11. Let's see how fast it can generate a sermon and if it's any good.
All right, here we go. So the question we're asking GPT is, write me a short Lutheran sermon on the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 11.
Okay.
It's writing it as we speak.
Again, it takes me a couple days to write the sermon.
It's almost there.
Oh boy.
All right, it has arrived. We're done.
That was less than 20 seconds. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Read the sermon. It's a short sermon, but let's see what you feel about the quality of what this artificial intelligence can create in less than 20 seconds.
Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, in John chapter 10, verse 11, Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. These words remind us of the great love and sacrifice that Jesus made for us. Jesus, the good shepherd, is not like the hired hand who runs away when danger comes. He stays with his sheep and protects them even at the cost of his own life. This is exactly what Jesus did for us. He gave his life on the cross to save us from sin and death. Jesus' sacrifice was not forced upon him. He willingly laid down his life for us because of his great love for us. This love is demonstrated throughout his ministry as he healed the sick, fed the hungry, and preached the good news of salvation to all who would listen. As followers of Christ, we are called to imitate our good shepherd. We are called to lay down our lives for others in love and service, just as Jesus did for us. We are called to care for those in need, to share the good news of salvation, and to show compassion and kindness to all. Let us remember today the great sacrifice that Jesus made for us, and let us strive to follow in his footsteps as we go out into the world to share his love and grace with others. May God bless us and guide us on this journey.
Wow.
Amen.
Wow. That in less than 20 seconds. I'm starting to feel threatened in my job already. Thanks, Jim, for showing us a little bit of what the future is going to be like, even in the church. Thanks.
You bet.
Well, there you have it. Even my job is going to be supplanted in the near future. Instead of me preaching, you'll have a hologram playing my tapes, all generated through artificial intelligence. Here's the problem, though. If we don't slow it down, writes Michael Duffy in the Washington Post, if we don't get control of this technology, he says, it could break our democracy. It can break our humanity, and it could do it for good. He said a healthy democracy would govern this new technology in a way where it could be used in a more positive way. But he said, I'm not sure we're ready to do that. So, how do we respond to this as Christians, or just as everyday people? Again, there is fear on the one hand. Will I lose my job? Will this AI replace our economy, change it, hurt it? Will it change even the experience of what it means to be human? It's changing it already. What does that mean? We have films that explore sort of the outer realms of this technology, like Terminator, The Matrix, Ex Machina, all of them taking a look at robots, and of course most of them, the robots take over for us in the end. But there's also excitement. Many people feel this enhances our experiences. I mean, we don't use Texas Instrument computers anymore to do our math problems, or an abacus, right? We can now use computers, and doesn't that enhance our experience? Let's say it makes our math work each time. So are you excited, or are you fearful? In the Christian church, I think there are some questions we ask as well, and we have resources to bear. First of all, we go back to Genesis and say, what is the human experience? What makes us human? What is the characteristic and nature of the soul, and can technology help serve us and lift up humanity in positive ways? That's the first. But we also are realistic about sin. We talk about sin, not just human weaknesses or the inability to control technology, but we know that original sin means at our depth, We're separated from God. We trust ourselves. We trust our technology. It's the Tower of Babel all over again. Tower of Babel, the technology was the brick. Now it's artificial intelligence. How about fear? In trusting in God, does that take away the fear of this misuse of technology? And how do we feel about the economy when maybe our neighbors or our friends, maybe our relatives are going to lose work because now AI can do it better? We want to bring all those questions and some of our Christian resources to bear on the Sunday Forum at 10:15. Bring your Alexa, I'm just kidding, but bring your experience with artificial intelligence with, as we discuss again, it's now in our life. Is that good or bad? Artificial intelligence. Thanks for joining us on the Sunday Forum. Bye-bye now.